It was a scorching afternoon when 12-year-old Jamal spotted a sleek black car pulled over on the side of the road. The driver, a well-dressed man in his 40s, stood beside it, frustration clear on his face. A flat tire. Most people just drove past, too busy to care. But not Jamal. He'd been taught to help others whenever he could, no matter who they were. So, despite the heat and his worn-out sneakers, he walked over. "Need some help, sir?" he asked, his voice steady but polite. The man glanced at him, surprised. He wasn't used to strangers offering a hand, especially a kid. "You know anything about changing a tire?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. Jamal grinned. "My uncle's a mechanic. I watch him all the time." With quick hands and a determination far beyond his years, Jamal got to work. Sweat dripped down his forehead, but he didn't stop. He tightened the last bolt and stepped back, wiping his hands on his jeans. "All done," he said, proud of himself. The man, still in shock, pulled out his wallet. "How much do I owe you?" Jamal shook his head. "Nothing, sir, just glad I could help." The man looked at him for a long moment. Then he smiled, a knowing, almost mysterious smile. "Tell me something, Jamal. What do you want to be when you grow up?" Jamal hesitated for a second, caught off guard by the question. Most adults just said thanks and moved on, but this man seemed different. He wasn't just making conversation, he actually wanted to know. "I want to own a business one day," Jamal said, standing a little taller. "Maybe a car shop like my uncle's, but bigger. Something that helps people." The man nodded, like he was studying Jamal's answer. "That's a big dream," he said, slipping his wallet back into his pocket. "What's stopping you?" Jamal shrugged. "I don't know. Money, I guess. But help my mom with stuff first." The man's expression changed slightly, as if those words struck something deep inside him. He glanced at his car, then back at Jamal. "How about this?" he said, pulling out a sleek business card and placing it in Jamal's hand. "Come by this address tomorrow. No promises, but I think I might have something for you." Jamal looked down at the card. The letters were crisp and bold. A name, a company, an address downtown. He didn't recognize it, but something about it felt important. "Really?" he asked, unsure if this was real. The man smiled. "Really, you showed up for me today. Maybe it's time someone shows up for you." Then, just like that, he got in his car and drove away, leaving Jamal standing there, the card burning in his hand. Jamal turned the business card over in his fingers all the way home. He had no idea what kind of company it was, but something about the way the man spoke made him feel like this wasn't just some random offer. Still, a part of him wondered if it was too good to be true. People always talked big, but not everyone followed through. At home, his mom was sorting through bills at the kitchen table, her face tired, but still carrying that quiet strength he admired. He slid into the seat across from her, hesitating before setting the card down. "Some guy gave me this today," he said casually. She picked it up, reading the name. Her brows lifted slightly. "You helped him?" she asked, glancing up. "You know him?" She nodded slowly. "This man is one of the biggest business owners in the city, Jamal. He's been on the news before." She looked at the address. "And this is his headquarters." Jamal's chest tightened. He hadn't expected that. He thought back to the way the man looked at him, like he saw something in him that even Jamal wasn't sure of yet. "You think I should go?" he asked. His mom sighed, rubbing her temples. "People like that, they don't just do things for no reason. Be careful, baby. Not every opportunity is what it seems." Her words sat heavy in his mind. That night, as he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the question kept turning over and over. Was this his big break, or was his mom right? The next morning, Jamal stood outside the towering glass building, gripping the business card in his sweaty palm. The place looked too fancy, too important, like the kind of place he wasn't supposed to walk into. But he had come this far. Taking a deep breath, he stepped through the revolving doors. Inside, everything was polished and quiet, the kind of silence that made him feel like even his breathing was too loud. A receptionist looked up, eyes flicking over his worn-out sneakers before offering a polite smile. "Can I help you?" Jamal swallowed hard. Yeah. I'm here to see." He looked down at the card again, reading the name. The woman's expression changed instantly. She picked up the phone, murmuring something he couldn't hear. Moments later, a set of double doors opened, and the man from yesterday appeared, dressed even sharper than before. He smiled when he saw Jamal. "You actually showed up. I like that." Jamal followed him down a long hallway, his nerves growing with every step. They entered a massive office with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the city. The man gestured to a chair, and Jamal sat, gripping his knees. "I meet a lot of people," the man said, leaning back in his chair. "But it's rare to find someone like you, someone who steps up when no one else will." His voice was calm, but there was something in his eyes, something unreadable. "Tell me, Jamal, how far are you willing to go for your future?" Jamal hesitated. The way the man asked made it sound like there was more to this than just an opportunity. There was a weight behind his words, a test hidden inside them. I don't know," Jamal admitted. "I just know I want to do something big." The man nodded slowly, drumming his fingers on the desk. "That's a good answer," he said, "because I have an offer for you. But it's not easy, it's not simple, and once you step in, there's no turning back." Jamal's stomach twisted, the way he said it, like a challenge, like a warning. It sent a chill through him. His mom's voice echoed in his head. Asterisk, not every opportunity is what it seems, asterisk. Still, he couldn't ignore the way his heart pounded in his chest. This moment felt like the edge of something huge. He just didn't know if it would take him up or pull him under. Jamal shifted in his seat, his fingers gripping the armrests. The man watched him closely, as if measuring his reaction. Then, after a long pause, he slid a folder across the desk. "Inside this is a chance to change your life," he said, his voice smooth but firm. "A scholarship, a mentorship, a direct path to the kind of future most people only dream about." Jamal's breath caught. It sounded unreal, too perfect. He hesitated before flipping open the folder, scanning the pages. His name was already printed on some of them, like this had been planned before he even walked in. "But," the man continued, lacing his fingers together, "there's one condition." Jamal looked up. His stomach twisted at the way the man's tone had shifted. "What is it?" The man leaned forward slightly. "You'll have to leave your neighborhood. Leave behind everything and everyone you know. If you take this opportunity, you can't just dip your toes in, you have to jump all the way in." Jamal's heart pounded. His home, his mom, his uncle's shop, his friends. It wasn't perfect, but it was his asterisk. And now this man was asking him to walk away from it all. He swallowed. Why? The man's eyes darkened just slightly. "Because staying there would only hold you back. You have potential, Jamal, but potential means nothing if it's trapped in the wrong place." Jamal's chest tightened. He wanted to believe this was the answer he'd been waiting for, but something didn't feel right. The way the man spoke, like he already knew what Jamal's life would be if he stayed, like he was deciding for him. And then, just as the weight of the choice settled in, a knock on the door broke the moment. The receptionist poked her head in, looking hesitant. "Sir, there's someone here to see you." The man's jaw tensed. "I'm in a meeting." The receptionist hesitated. "She says it's urgent." Before he could answer, the door pushed open wider. And there, standing in the doorway, was Jamal's mother. Her eyes met his, filled with something he couldn't quite read. Fear, maybe, or something even deeper. "I need to speak with my son," she said firmly, not even looking at the man behind the desk. Jamal's stomach dropped. He had no idea how she found out. But one thing was clear, something was happening that he didn't understand. And now he had to figure out if he was about to walk into his future or a mistake he'd never recover from. Jamal's throat tightened as he looked at his mom. She was out of breath, like she had rushed here. But it wasn't just that. There was something in her eyes that sent a chill through him. A warning. The man sighed, standing up. Miss Carter, I understand your concerns, but your son has a rare opportunity in front of him. His mother didn't even glance at him. Jamal, she said, her voice steady but urgent. We need to go, now. Jamal frowned. But. Now, she repeated, firmer this time. Rum that? She turned to him then, her eyes sharp. Because I know who you are. I know what you do. A tense silence filled the room. Jamal looked between them, confusion twisting in his chest. What's she talking about? The man sighed, then sat back down, adjusting his cuffs like he wasn't the least bit rattled. Your mother is making assumptions. His mom shook her head. No, I'm not. I've seen your mentorship before. You don't help kids, you own them. You make them owe you, and by the time they realize it, they can't walk away. Jamal's stomach dropped. The man tilted his head, his expression unreadable. That's an interesting way to put it. Jamal felt his hands go cold. Is it true? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The man didn't answer right away, and that silence told Jamal everything. His mother grabbed his arm. We're leaving. Jamal stood, his heart pounding. The man exhaled, then gave a small, knowing smile. Jamal, he said calmly, like they weren't standing in the middle of a storm, just remember, when you go back home, and things get hard again, this door won't be open forever. Jamal stared at him. He thought about the money they didn't have, the future that felt out of reach, the way people in his neighborhood struggled just to get by. He thought about the life he could have had if only he said yes. Then he thought about the way his mother had looked at him when she walked in, not as someone holding him back, but as someone trying to save him. He turned, walked to the door, and didn't look back. Outside, his mom let out a breath of relief, squeezing his shoulder. I know it's hard, baby, she said. But trust me, some deals cost more than you can afford. Jamal nodded slowly. He didn't have all the answers, but one thing was clear. He might not have walked into a new future today, but he had just walked away from a mistake that could have changed his life forever. Jamal and his mom walked in silence for a while, the weight of everything that had just happened pressing down on him. He had come so close to saying yes, so close to believing that this man, with his expensive suit and big promises, had all the answers. But now, standing outside that building, he felt something he hadn't expected, relief. His mom finally spoke. I know you want more, Jamal, and you will have more, but not like that. Not by owing someone who only sees you as a way to make himself richer. Jamal nodded, staring down at the sidewalk. He still had the same dreams, the same hunger to make something of himself. But now he understood, some shortcuts came with a price too high to pay. That night, he sat on his bed, flipping the business card between his fingers before tossing it in the trash. If he was going to build a future, he was going to do it the right way. He didn't know how yet, but he knew one thing for sure. When the right opportunity came, one that didn't ask him to give up who he was, he'd be ready.